Hi guys. The husband is loaded down right here next to me. About to head to snapper fishing in Jacksonville. It lasts like literally 24 hours once a year. So arguably is his Super Bowl. Um, there he goes. Um, and I've been out of town the last 3 weekends in a row. I have to stay home. I have to stay home. I'm fully out of social tokens. And so off we go. Home, I'm going to relax, meditate, booked my workout classes, read, watercolor paint. I haven't done that in like 8 months, and it's one of my favorite things to do. Yeah, happy Friday. The weekend has commenced. It's like 4 o'clock. I just put on my new hat. I love this hat. And I'm heading to the gardening store. I got my lips done yesterday. You can see that's like a little bit bruised. I have been getting my lips done for 4 years, and I only get them done once a year. So the last time I got them done was in August, the beginning of August of last year, and now we're mid-July as I'm recording this. So about a year, give or take 2 weeks. And yeah, I also I just got totally chewed out by my older brother about a heirloom chair that my mom gave me that he apparently claimed first. And he's so upset. So honestly, he said some really hurtful things to me, and I immediately decided I had to leave the house. I'm like, the husband is leaving. I am not about to sit inside and mope and mentally spiral. So I put on my gardening hat, put me in a better mood, took you guys out, and we're heading to the gardening store. I will pick you up once we get there. I ran out of the house so fast I didn't bring a mic or anything, so hopefully you guys can hear me, but these are two really good size hibiscus in the pink, which we already have going on, at least for summer. It's in the pots over by the pool, but it got me thinking that I do need to keep an eye out for plants, landscaping plants, not just for the pots, which is normally what I'm here looking for, so that I can replace some of the plants that were just filler plants chosen in the yard to be approved by the city. And so while I'm here with no agenda, I figured that we'd look around for that. Also, these caught my eye. These are climbers. I know that they also come in a really pretty bluish purple. They grow super fast. I can't remember what they're called, but they're major butterfly attractors and they're really pretty. I prefer jasmine, I think, but I love those with the white flowers are nice. I love these. Sweet almond in the white would be so pretty to put in pots on the outdoor dining table. It says full sun, part shade. I don't know if they'll live under the covered patio like that, but they might in the pots on the front porch, maybe to replace the rosemary that died. I love these. They're so soft and sort of whimsical. Really pretty. These are really pretty too. They look like ground orchids. That's the info. Okay, this could also be an option for the front or back in the pots. this Senorita Blanca, and it says full sun. We definitely need full sun for that area, but I love the light purple. This is more of their outdoor landscaping section, like not for potted plants. I never really come back in this area because our house is already landscaped, but there's like trees and some of the bigger items. But today I figured, why not? These are Asian orchid trees. They are just the coolest. I've been wanting one for a couple of years, but like a year and a half ago, I saw that a neighbor a couple streets down, I see their house on my walk, but they bought one of these and they put it right outside their front door. And then I was sort of keeping tabs on it to see if it did well or not, because these are a little bit pricey, but I just love them. They're Japanese, and actually yesterday I saw their tree and it looks like it's doing great. For a while, it looked like it was gonna die. And so now I'm kind of thinking I could put one of these in the ground outside of the master bathroom. Would be so pretty. These bigger ones are 250. I'll think about it. It's not something that I'm going to come pick up without my husband's truck, because I don't think I could even if I wanted to. These are pretty. Like some kind of bamboo, I think. These are really pretty too. When you look at the foliage, these tiny leaves, a really pretty tree. I love that. I've actually never seen that before. I just left Living Color because they're closing. And I picked up 2 sweet almond, which were those like wispy white plants that I'm going to first try on the dining room table in the covered patio out back. And if that doesn't work, then I'm going to put them on the front porch. And I'm going to come back better prepared tomorrow, photograph a few areas of the yard that I know I want to switch stuff out, and then go back to Living Color and sort of assess what I want to do. Depending on what I decide to buy for the actual yard to plant in the ground, I might have a friend go pick it up. He's our landscaper, but it's also my husband's best friend, who I've also known since middle school. And obviously, he gets more wholesale pricing on these things from the local nurseries. So, I mean, it's just going to depend on how many I want, how much of a discount he can get, and then like, is the juice worth the squeeze? If it's going to save me like $20, but I'm going to have to wait on him and also hassle him, like, make him go out of his way to do that, then to me, it's not worth it. But if it's going to save me a couple $100, then I would rather wait and have him help me. So, yeah, I think I'm going to go home right now and photograph the yard, get on Pinterest. I also have a Canva presentation that I've had for a couple of years now of landscaping, and I save in an organized format all of the plants that I like that match the aesthetic with all of the plant information like sunlight and watering and things like that on there. So I just need to get organized and then make a better assessment, but I will keep you guys posted. This orchid has been attached with this sort of twine.
probably since December or so. Maybe not quite that long, but it's been a while. It's been, let's say, 6-ish months. And now you can see that the roots of the orchid have started to naturally attach to the tree, which will happen over time, but in the beginning, they need some help. So I just tie them really simply like this. I know some people like to put some of that kind of peat moss. It comes in sheets and put it around the root system and then tie it around. But I find that the roots prefer to air out like this. It prevents any like weird growth and stuff on them. The roots, I've tried both ways, and what I'll say is that the roots look much healthier when you don't cover them. So that's how I do it. And then I have here a new orchid just from Costco that I'll show you how I stick it on. So here it is. I will remove it. I'm not going to use that pot. Remove it from this. And then you don't have to be too delicate with this, but you want to get all of this moss off. You want to massage the roots and try to let them loose. This is going to take a minute. Okay, now you can see a lot of that peat moss is off of here. There's a little bit of residue, but it's not a big deal. I'm also going to pluck this little thing off. You can see certain areas on the roots, like this is not a good area. It's sick. These for sure, this part that looks sort of like woody and dead, not good. A lot of this is caused from moisture not being able to get airflow and dry in between waterings, which is why I don't like the peat moss. I will see if I can find the more in-depth video where I learned a lot of this about orchids so that if anyone's curious, they can look it up and really get like a thorough explanation. But I learned about this, let's say, probably 3 years ago on YouTube from, I think, an orchid guy in Florida, actually. And I've been doing this to my orchids ever since, and they've thrived. When I put them on a tree, normally they'll end up having 3 or 4 shoots end up coming off that are all big and beautiful, full like this, so you know that they're happy. Don't be scared to trim the roots like this. You do need sterile scissors. These ones are just rusted out, but I did give them a quick rub down with rubbing alcohol. I sprayed them and wiped them down. None of the rust came off, but at least they're disinfected. If some of these root systems are sick and you trim them and then use the same scissors immediately on an orchid that's healthy, you can sort of spread some of that bacteria. So you want to use clean scissors. And most of this actually I'm going to cut off because it doesn't look good, especially like if you have any black sections. You just want this to have a really healthy root system. And as long as you have a couple healthy sections, this orchid will still thrive, even though much of the root system has been cut off. This made me really nervous the first time. And now I know how happy the plant will be after this, so just go for it. Okay, that's all I'm going to do for now. A lot of those sick areas won't end up growing back anyway. They'll just die and look crazy. And I would imagine it adds unnecessary stress to the plant. So this, I think this is from maybe Hobby Lobby. I've had this forever. I use it for so many different things. Even like for Christmas, I use some of this to tie the garland up the stairs. It's just a good thing to have. I'm going to, I guess I should measure, cut up several pieces to get this thing secured to the tree. I also took this off, the support stick. I don't think we're going to need that now. Maybe. Let's see. Sometimes it needs a little support, but this part's a little bit tricky. Honestly, it helps to have another person to hold this thing on, but you can do it yourself. If the tree was much thicker than this, I would want help. I'm just tying this in knots, and then I'll clip off the excess once it's been secured. I just secured that first so that this wouldn't be moving around, and the safer and more secure the root ball of the orchid feels on the tree, the quicker it will secure itself. Orchids really just, they want to feel secure and supported. And if they feel secure and supported, they'll do well. So you want to try to find a balance without restricting the roots too much, like as in tying this so tight that the roots can't breathe. That will kill them off. So you want to find a balance between tight enough that it won't move around, but not too tight that it kills the root ball. So for that reason, I tie quite a few of these on here and just not too tight. Also, if you don't tie this tight enough on here, if you get a bad storm, either this will go sideways and the whole thing will be dangling off, or this that holds the flowers will snap. So I've had both happen. This one that runs right here, right at the end of this where the leaves are, is going to be my tightest one to try to really get this thing secure, because I can see right now it's not super stable. Now I'm just going to trim up these so I can better see what's going on back here. See how the roots have already attached themselves without being tied on now, like that. So that's what they'll do. Right now, this is a new piece of rope for the new orchid that I put on. I had no place to put it except for over this guy, but this guy is fully attached. So I see I left this support stick on it. I can remove that, and now this one will be good. So very simple, but I actually surprisingly think a lot of people don't know how to do this. Orchids are so popular in South Florida. I know a lot of people use them as houseplants, but when you're done with them inside, attach them to your trees because they look beautiful, especially if you buy all white orchids and you attach them to your palm trees. They love it. They love part sun. Full sun they don't do great in, but like under a tree canopy like this, you can really line up the trunk. They'll do great. They look beautiful. And they're really low maintenance. Once they're attached on the tree like this, you don't have to do anything. Occasionally, if you see they're not doing well, like in the dead heat of summer, you could spray the root system a little bit, maybe once a week, and that's it. Super low maintenance and a beautiful touch. Okay, guys, it's later in the day, evening, I should say, and dinner is in the oven. It's my roasted chicken recipe with carrots and onion, which is saved on my Valenti Interiors food highlight on Instagram. And this is a purchase that I am so excited about. This is from Rajiv Surendra. If you don't follow him on YouTube, you really should. His content is super inspiring. He is a creative, he is an artist, he's very skilled at the things that he knows how to do. And he finally started a online store so that all of us could get our hands on his items as well. And he does drops every now and then. I don't really know what the cadence is, but every time I see an announcement for a drop, I try to get on. But the past couple times, the things I wanted were sold out. So this time I got my hands on something. So I was thrilled. Wow. Even better in person. This is one of his orchid pots. This is such a great idea because I'll show you. Because most my plants are so pissed that I keep going out of town. All of them look like this, unfortunately. And you guys know I love my plants. Most orchid pots come like this. They're solid, and orchids need to be able to breathe. I showed you guys outside how happy orchids are, with the airflow. And this solves that problem with these beautiful diamond cutouts. I wish I could give you guys a better look, but I broke my camera screen and had it repaired, and it just never was repaired the same. So I think I need to replace my phone. But I'm going to put this, clean it up, get this peat moss off, and put it in here. And then put this in the water closet in the master bathroom because this is part of my master refresh. Okay, this is literally dying. And this is probably part of the reason. I know this isn't really focusing, but you can see all these healthy roots here. And then look at the roots in here are disgusting rotted. So I'm gonna do this part off camera because I kind of already showed it to you guys and I don't want to cause a mess in the kitchen. So I'm gonna take this into the backyard and clean it up, clean the roots, chop it, just to leave the healthy ones out. And then I'm going to stick it in here. No peat moss, none of that. And I'll show you guys once it's in here, just raw dog. Can I say that on YouTube? I don't know. Just nothing in there, straight in here. None, no peat moss, no dirty, decaying roots, nothing. And just straight in here. No filler, no peat moss, nothing. I'll show you guys once it's done. Raw dog. Okay. I cut off all of that and just left these healthy parts on here. As you can see, this like black and yellow, or if you see those little like strings, that's all bad. It's got to go. And I'm not sure how this is going to stand up without anything, but actually does fine. Like that. Is it straight? Not really, but it still looks really good. I'm not mad about that. Now, I will note that this orchid did not come like your normal orchid from the store. It was from a florist. My mom got it for me 2 years ago for my birthday. And so it came with these beautiful like white sticks. So this one does have more support, and you can see where the orchid is attached to the sticks. It has this peat moss to cover it up, and that looks beautiful, but it could be because of that additional support, this stands up straight. Maybe not, but I just figured that I'd mention that since it is my first time using this pot, but looks great. And hopefully I can get some fresh orchid flowers on here, get this guy to bloom. I see a couple right here showing up. So fingers crossed, but absolutely love that. Not only is it practical, but it's also extremely beautiful. So I'm going to put this in the bathroom. Pretty. It's so nice having a window in here. I know that sounds crazy because this is a bathroom, but it allows me to, for example, have this orchid, and we just need to get a Roman shade and then we'll be all good. I also have been toying with the idea of wallpaper in here. This is the one I originally wanted, and it's still my first choice. But while I was ordering swatches, I also ordered these. This is one of their like lemon swatches. I wanted the persimmons because it looks like mandarins, and that is part of my home branding is the mandarin. But yeah, that one's grass cloth. It's really beautiful. This is the one that I really want to use. This is my only hold up, is to mix patterns, you do need to keep in mind the scale of two patterns. So you want the scale to be different, one small scale, one large scale. It's just easier on the eyes. The patterns don't clash so much. I'm trying to decide if the scale of this pattern and the marble is too similar, that it clashes. Like almost I need something super large scale or even smaller than this maybe. I'm still trying to decide, but ideally I will use this wallpaper because I love it. Now, from the toilet where I'm sitting, you can see, maybe not right now, but you can see all of this marble in the shower. And so I had this swatch stuck here just to give me a better idea of what I think about that. I still really want to use it. It wouldn't be out here, it would just be in the water closet. There's a little bit of marble in here, but I can't decide. I've only had the swatches for 2 or 3 days, and I just moved the swatch to the shower, near the shower, so I could see it from here yesterday. But yeah, stay tuned. This will be part of my master bedroom and master bathroom makeover.
Uh-oh, guys. So I really want to get these planted because we're going back out of town again. I just changed because I didn't want to get my white shorts dirty. And I want to plant these in here, but this is the top of this does not disconnect from the base, and this thing is hundreds of pounds. It is so heavy, and I can't lift it myself. So I know that this is going to cause a mess, and I'm going to do it anyway. So I'm going to repot these right here in my office. Let's get into it. I have this Miracle Grow indoor potting mix. Indoor potting mix is more fluffy and it doesn't absorb so much water. So it prevents your plants from getting overwatered since they are in pots and indoors. You know, you don't have drainage holes on the bottom, obviously, or it would be draining onto your floor or your furniture. So you really do want I guess it would be called like a more porous soil. Anyway, just get soil that says indoor potting mix and you should be safe. Oh God, am I gonna regret this? Okay, probably will, but you know what? I'm a strong, capable woman. I can do this. I'm wondering, I'm wondering if these will even be happy in here. Oh gosh. I locked the dogs out of the office so that they're not trampling around in the dirt and they're already scratching to get in. They're so upset. So I don't know if you can see this, but it has like even this white styrofoam stuff in here to make it more light and fluffy, the soil. And honestly, this is a little bit of a tight squeeze. And yeah, like I said, I don't even know if these are going to be happy in here, but you don't know until you try. So to me, at the moment, the most important part that I'm just sort of crossing my fingers on is that these guys don't have gnats. A lot of houseplants end up getting gnats. I honestly think that they're normally already in the soil. These gnats are like fungus gnats. So if the soil has some fungus in it, they're feeding off of the fungus and they lay eggs in the soil. And then you bring the plant home from a nursery. And while it's in your house, the gnats hatch out of the eggs. And then all of a sudden you have gnats flying around your house and you can't figure out why. It's extremely irritating and they spread fast. So like the Boston ferns that are in our covered patio, most of them were actually inside of the house, but after having them for several months, I brought home some mini topiaries to put in the kitchen from Home Depot that had gnats, and all of the plants ended up with gnats like within a week and a half. And I had never had that issue before. I didn't know about it. I ended up doing research. It's super common. And so all of the plants became outdoor plants, and that was the end of that. This is the first time I'm bringing a plant inside since that happened. It's been several months, other than orchids. I don't know that orchids get that problem, but none of my orchids ended up with gnats. So I'm gonna assume they don't. But anyway, this is my first time bringing a plant inside since that situation. And fingers crossed. I tried to take a good look and sort of shake these around while I was at the nursery to make sure I didn't see anything fly out of them. And I didn't, but I mean, you never know. So anyway, I hope that these are happy in here because these are really pretty. I love the leaves. And they match the topiary and my throw pillows that I keep in here. It's so pretty. It adds a pop. And I had an orchid sitting in here before. This guy. And it just looked weird. Like I kept it in there because I really wanted to use this for something. I love this marble pedestal. I'm just trying to figure out what will work in here. So fingers crossed this works because I love this plant and hopefully there's no gnats. And yeah, I'm going to give it a little bit of a water and clean this up, and I'll meet you on the next project. I was just washing my hands so that I could clean this up, but I did just think of something. If I want to cover up this dirt, I will go to Hobby Lobby and grab moss, green moss, and just set it over here. You can water through it, and I've used it on all of my flower bulbs in the past. So I'll plant bulbs in soil and I put peat moss around it I don't know if it's actually called peat moss, but the green moss, it comes like in a bag around it to really make it look finished off. And it really does just elevate it so much. So I think that this is a good one to use it on because you can see the dirt, whereas like the Boston ferns were so big, you couldn't see any of the dirt. So I will go ahead and do that tomorrow. And maybe I'll just show you guys on some B-roll what it looks like with the moss or maybe just over on Instagram. But I think that would really finish this off nicely. Okay, I am dressed for dinner. I will link the dress that I'm wearing below. So I'm getting ready now for dinner, a girls' dinner. And I do have on some makeup right now. So I'm going to take it off really quick, just wipe it off. So the only thing I'll have on is brows. And then show you guys my sort of full makeup routine, which I don't usually do full makeup. And anyway, I'll show you guys. I don't use foundation and stuff, so it's quick and easy and looks good year round. Okay. I've never done one of these before, so it's throwing me off, but I figured I'd show you guys. I use these clean skin wipes because towels build up bacteria on them and there's really no way to avoid it. Even when you wash your towels, over time, they still build up bacteria, which if you have sensitive skin like I do, sometimes that's enough to set your skin off. So I'm just using a little micellar water. I buy them, the micellar water, in a 2-pack off of Amazon. Now I have nothing on except eyebrows. I already did them and I'm not going to take them off. And I'll give you a little rundown of what I'm doing right now. Normally, like in the past couple years, I would have no base on my face. I just go straight in for bronzer, concealer under the eyes. But 2 weeks ago, I bought this and it's in the color Sun Glow, which is like their dark shade, I think. Anyway, this stuff, I'm using it even though it's been destroying my skin. So like I should have stopped using this yesterday. I got a facial and my facialist was like, what the heck are you putting on your skin? Like it's making me break out. It's clogging all of my pores. We've been in the Bahamas for 2 weekends the past month. And like I thought that this was so nice to make me look tan and glowy to sort of just use as a base under my makeup, but it's destroying my skin as as I literally squeeze it onto my face again. Oh shit. So I do a squeeze on each cheek. I also bought the brush that they have, which I think is really nice for this. But I need to go back to either Drunk Elephant, those glowy tan drops, which is what I used for like ever. I ran out of them and then never bought them again. So I haven't had them for probably like a year and a half. Or I've also gotten targeted ads for the Westman Atelier. I think they have a similar product to this. This one, I don't know if other people have this problem, but my skin is so angry with this on here. So I do not recommend this product. It looks beautiful, but what is the point if it's going to make you break out? Like at that point, I need foundation, which I hate the feeling of foundation on my face. The only foundation that I will use is this one, Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk. I wore this for my wedding and everything. That's the only foundation that I will put on my face. Although I am interested to see what what is Typology is like. It's like a super watery, I guess it's a skincare brand, But I reached out to a couple of my friends who have used it and they absolutely love it. And it's not super it's not full coverage at all. It's super light. And I like that. I want to be able to like see my skin through the makeup. Um, I had horrible acne for so long. And it was so bad that I really had to wear foundation. And now it just sort of peeves me out. So I don't. And my skin's much happier that way. Anyway, okay. So that's it. Oh, that was the guys. I'm trying with this. This is Kosa's 1.5C. Then this is like my favorite. Forever, I have loved a bronzer stick. Like if I had to choose one product to use on my face, it would be a bronzer stick. And right now, this is the one that I have. This is color Monarch in Merit. And I don't know if you can tell on camera, but I have very olive color skin. And when I tan, I get dark. So I can get away with a really dark tone. Like I think that that's their one under their darkest tone. And it really doesn't look crazy on me. I think it's for people with dark skin, which I wouldn't really say that I have dark skin. I mean, but I do love a really dark bronzing stick. Okay, that's it. See, it's not like crazy. I need to do something about these lips too, because that sort of looks crazy. Okay, then right now, the two blushes I'm loving are Bespoke by Merit, which is like super dark, but it gives just a hint of sun-kissed. Or if I'm looking to like look more like burnt, I use Muse by Milk, which is again pretty dark. So I'm gonna use the Milk Cosmetics one now. I put it on my hand like this, and then I have this little brush and I blend it out first like this to pick up all the product. And then I dab it on here. So I don't like to do circular motions and like massage the blush in because it creates muddy colors between the bronzer and the blush. So I blend my bronzer and dab my blush. And I do that. I only use cream blush. So I do that regardless of what shade I use. That's my method. So just dab. I go over the nose and do this. And I try to keep both products, the bronzer and the blush, like quite high on the cheekbone for a lift. Okay. I said the eyebrows are already done. I'm going to do a little bit of a lid. I I just keep it easy. So this is exactly what I do. No eyeshadow. This is the method. This is from Amazon. Julep Orchid Shimmer. It has a little bit, it's like a brownish purple color. So you just put it all over like this. Okay. And I'll put a little bit under here because I like sort of a sultry, smudgy eye. And I do not like putting on makeup, so when I have to, I'm actually quite good at doing makeup. I've, did makeup all through college. I learned a lot being in Alabama. University of Alabama is where I went to college because Southern girls, really, they go all out, the extensions, the like curls, the things. So really I did learn quite a bit, and really I've always sort of been good at makeup because I'm I paint and do other things with my hands, and I feel like it's all just kind of goes together with being sort of artsy and creative. But anyway, you just blend this out. It's really nice and creamy, but if you leave it on too long without blending it, it does dry on there. So be careful. And then that's it. Now, if I want to take it up a notch, which why not? I'll add a little bit of a liner. So I'm going to use this, which is Alkaline by Urban Decay. And it's actually red, but I like that just a touch because it's going to make my blue eyes pop. Okay. Now the only thing left to do is a lip and mascara. So for a lip, there's basically, I never really wore a lip. I was always like a clear lip gloss girl or one with a little bit of a tint, but I recently started getting into lips the last year. And there's two combos that I love. This is one of them. This is Refi Berry Blur Liner, which again is quite dark. It's a similar color to the blush that I used. And then I don't really like the feeling of lipstick on my lips, and I don't like that matte look. So normally that's what I do. I'll just do this, color in my lips a little bit, and then I put on Ole Henriksen, this cocoa cream. It's actually a lip mask, a tinted lip mask. Sort of like the Laneige or Laneige, which I still use, but I just keep it in my nightstand and put it on before bed. So my lip tape that I sleep with, mouth tape, doesn't get stuck on my lips. Okay. That's it. Mascara. I have used Dior Show Mascara since middle school, never switched, will never switch. That's my ride or die. And the best eyelash curler ever. I've tried so many, and this is the one I've had since middle school. My mom put me on to Shiseido brand eyelash curler and Dior Show mascara, and it really is the best. Nothing compares. I try probably once a year a new eyelash curler just to see if anyone came out with anything better, and the answer is always no. I should go back in and cover up those blemishes on my jawline. I'm gonna do that really quick. I totally forgot. Honestly, I'm tan right now, so you can kind of see that. So this is Hoola, that old school bronzer. I feel like everyone used to use this. And I'm just gonna just to make that more seamless. And that's it. And then I'm gonna throw on an earring. Okay, I'm wearing these earrings, which are Heaven Mayhem dupes, smaller than her smallest size, the mini, and in all gold. But her two-tone minis are like one of my ride or die earrings. I wear them a couple times a week. And I need my friend to tie my dress once I get there. We're going to Earl's, which is in the Four Seasons in Fort Lauderdale on A1A. I'm going to leave my necklace stack on. And these are old, but I'm going to wear these lace-up Ray shoes. I haven't worn them in so long. And that's it.
Okay, I got a new phone. It's pouring rain. I just took a clip for you guys, but this phone, the new iPhone, is almost too big for the clamp on my tripod, but I broke my phone in Aspen during the like mountain party. I dropped it and it hit this tiny pebble just perfectly that it knocked out the one of the glass lenses on the camera on the backhand side. I took it to get fixed at one of those like techie places and the camera still wouldn't focus on anything. So I had an upgrade and I upgraded my phone, which I think is going to be good for us. So hopefully this video is better quality. Hopefully you can hear me. I just finished with the moss over here, and because it's so dark now, I'm just going to do the other project in here too. So I'm going to grab the stool. I got a brief rundown from my husband on what tools to use and how to do this. So let me grab it. Okay, so we have this stool, little vintage stool. Honestly, I think this fabric is beautiful. You can tell it was recently reupholstered in this. It just doesn't match the living room. The accent colors are blue and green. This just isn't going to work, even though I do think this fabric is beautiful. So we have the stool. We have a number 2 screwdriver. The husband said it was important to mention that it's number 2, which I will be using to undo these just here, here, and here. I'll undo them and that will allow this top part to come off. I'm going to remove this fabric and use it as a guide to cut this fabric. I wonder if this fabric is wide enough. Yeah, it should be. This fabric I bought from the textile trunk on Etsy. I've bought wallpaper and some other things from her before. She sources wonderful like raw materials. So like fabrics, trims, wallpapers, like home related textiles. And most of what she finds is vintage. So I thought that this was vintage, but then randomly I was on Instagram a couple of days ago and saw an interior designer who had used the same fabric for curtains and she linked the fabric. So I followed the link and this fabric is available on I think it's the Expert. It's like $290 a yard, and I think I paid $50 for this scrap. So without further ado, let's get into this. I went to Home Depot, and this is what I bought. A staple gun to staple the fabric on, and then I meant to get 1/4 and 5/16 size staples, but I see now that I ended up with 2 boxes of 5/16. it should be fine. But while I was in the store, I was looking at this where it gives you the different sizes of the staples that are compatible with this. And so I wanted to get the smallest size and the second smallest size, which is 1/4 and then 5/16. Anyway, it should be fine. I just thought that was worth mentioning. And I'm going to just sit on the floor and do this. So let me lower you. I do have this little sewing kit. Although I don't really know how to sew using a machine, like barely, I do know how to make patterns from scratch. My mom's childhood best friend taught me how. I call her my Aunt Laura. And so this should be easy for me, even though I have not done this before. From my previous company, I designed and created all of the patterns for those lingerie and sleepwear pieces. So I was constantly working, drawing patterns and pinning fabric and cutting fabric to create the first generation of samples before we would have them professionally made and put into tech packs and all that stuff. Okay, so let me take this off. I also got thinking, where are people going nowadays to get fabric? Like people who enjoy, making their own clothes for special occasions or for like small upholstery projects like this where you maybe wouldn't go to like an upholstery store because some of the more like professional places have minimums that you have to buy. Like you can get this fabric, but you only if you get 10 or more yards. Now that Joann Fabrics is closed, like where the heck are people going for this, It's really a shame. These are the best fabric scissors in all the land. At least out of the ones that I've used, these are really good ones. They're very sharp. I've had them for like 5 years. The brand is like Ginger. These are from Joann Fabrics. I think they were like 80 or $100. Really good ones. Whoever did this put so many staples in here. I'm not even kidding. Good Lord. This is really a situation to get these out of here. What do I do? I think I need to go locate more tools. Okay, so I found a flathead and look how many staples. So I'm gonna try to, and like this stain, I wish I could do more backing. I just don't know enough, to be honest. This is my first little reupholstery project. Ow. I just called the husband to see if he would come help me because it's pouring rain and he works outside, so technically he could come help me for like 10 minutes to get these off so I don't like break a nail or something, tragic. I am gonna hurt myself doing this. And this flathead is too big for the, oh my God, size of these staples. Guys, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait like 15 minutes for my husband to come help me and get these staples out. I see that whoever put this new fabric on here just did it over the top of the original fabric. So I hope that I can get this off with some help from him and that the batting, what is it called? The cushion under here is in good condition, that it's not like stained up or anything. Otherwise, this might turn into a trip to Michael's to find extra materials, etc. So I'm going to pause right here, wait for a little assist, and then I will pick you guys up and take you through this process. I'm going to find the area I like best. on this fabric. And then I just laid the fabric over top. There's the two fabrics are stacked on top of each other. And then I am going to take these pins, just straight edge pins like this, like push pins, and run them like how a seamstress does to tack your pants while you're trying them on. I'm going to pin the old fabric to the new fabric so that when I'm cutting, the fabrics aren't moving around. This will help me get a clean line. And actually, the width of the new fabric is perfect. So I'm only gonna pin it on two sides instead of all four. Otherwise, like if you had proper width fabric, not just a remnant like what I have, I would recommend pinning all four sides, but with this one, it's not necessary. Okay, here's what I did. You can see that it's pinned like this, and then I'm just going to use a nice sharp pair of fabric scissors to cut this. Just like that, it's cut out. There's the new fabric. And now I'm just going to sit and take the rest of these staples out, and I'll show you guys after. Okay, I got that first layer off, and look how disgusting. I can't even. So this is going to take another trip. So I'm going to run to Michael's and see if I can find more of this foam padding. And I'm even going to replace this if I can find the material for it. So we have it stripped down. The fabric's cut. I just need to find the materials for that. So I'm going to try Michael's since Joann Fabrics is closed, and then I will show you guys how it goes.
Okay, guys, I am starting to run out of time for this video, but I will give you one update on this stool upholstery project. I went and grabbed new foam. This is from Michael's. It was on sale for $6, and there's two of these in here. I can't finish the project yet because I need to run to Home Depot, and I am going to get like a new piece of wood or whatever that the structural backing of the actual seat is. And then I will either show you guys the finished stool in the next video or over on my Instagram. Okay, that is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you made it this far and like my content, click on this video here, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.